Today we're going to be installing the Tusk SubZero snowplow mount on the Yamaha Grizzly. You want to make sure you have the proper tools and some assistance. It'll always make the installation go smoothly. For this video, we've stood the ATV up so you can see what we're doing. You need to safely support it so you can access the undercarriage for installation. First thing we need to do is remove the stock center skid plate. To do so, we're going to remove these inner fender support bolts. There's some on each side. We'll get those removed. And we're going to move on to the top center skid plate bolts. We're going to leave that front differential piece there. And then these are the bottom of the center skid plate. Once we get those out, that skid plate should pull right off out of the way. And then we're going to reinstall those 4 bolts we just took out. There's 2 on the front differential piece and 2 on the rear differential piece. That'll keep those in place while the snowplow mounts on it. Now we need to move on to the P-mount fender brace. This is a P-clamp, and we need to make sure that inner fender is supported while that center skid plate is off. So the P-clamp is going to go over the frame rail, and you're going to take the 50mm bolt. It's going to come in from the outside through the 30mm spacer, through the flat side of the P-clamp, and into the nut. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put the P-clamp over the frame, flat side out. We're going to take our 50mm bolt. It's going to go through the 30mm spacer into the P-clamp and then put the nut on. Okay, we need to make sure that there's room for the main U-clamp. So we need to hold the P-clamp up against the gusset before we tighten it. There's not very much room in between the gussets on the frame rail. So I'll go ahead and get that tightened. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We need to really push that P-clamp up before we tighten it. Now we're going to put the main plow mount on using the U-clamps. And I like to go around and kind of make sure that that's where the U-clamps are going to be, so I'm familiar with where they're going to go on the frame. And this is a location for this Grizzly. So you can see what you're going to need to move it between to get it on there. And this is where having a helper comes in handy. They can hold that plow mount up while you hold the clamp and start the threads. You just want to get a couple threads started on each clamp and move to each one. And we're using the 25mm bolt with a flat washer on these. It's all the same bolt on this model. Go ahead and get all of those started. And now we want to make sure they're centered. We want to make sure that all the gaps are centered. It's nice and square. And then we can go ahead and tighten them up. I like to tighten them kind of at the same time, so a couple turns on one, just so the clamp doesn't get sucked down all the way on one. You're tightening the clamp evenly. Alright, it's as simple as that. Go back through, make sure all your hardware's tight, and enjoy your Tusk SubZero snowplow.